Well, a new law that just took effect that could save pet owners hundreds of dollars. Now, it puts an end to so-called dog breed discrimination when it comes to your insurance rates.
And 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears shows what questions you should be asking.
Las Vegas is a dog lover's town, but we also have a major pet overpopulation problem, which overwhelms shelters and rescues. Many people surrender their dogs not because they don't want them, but because they have no choice. And some say the reason behind that traces back to liability insurance.
When we met and did our first, get to know each other, you could just tell she was a keeper.
Annette Merle adopted Nevaeh in December 2020.
I was living in a house with a backyard. The landlord was very nice and understanding about the dog.
But due to the pandemic, the house Annette and Nevaeh called home was sold.
So I was in the search to find a new place that would accept a large breed dog.
Not an easy task.
I mean, with a large breed dog, aggressive or non-aggressive, you just are going to have a hard time finding a place to live. Then when you add the aggressive breed context onto that, it complicates a lot of things.
Annette finally found a landlord willing to work with her, but paid a hefty price. She had to buy insurance specifically for Nevaeh, even though her pooch had no history of wrongdoing. The cost, nearly $600 a year.
And that covered liability insurance if, God forbid anything happened with her, another dog, another human.
But not everyone has a spare $600.
Now, he came to us because his owner passed away.
Amy Clatterbuck is Director of Operations at Hearts Alive Village, an organization founded in 2011 to help save dogs and cats.
It's heartbreaking when people come in and they have to surrender their pet that they've had for 8 years because their housing situation has changed and they can't find any kind of property, whether it be a house to rent, an HOA that allows their breed, and they have to get rid of a family member in order to keep their kids in a home.
Most homeowner associations and property managers have a list of banned breeds because of liability insurance cost. Amy says those breeds make up over 80% of the dogs at Hearts Alive Village. When trying to help rehome pets, she too has seen the struggle.
We often get the same typical no pit bulls, no bull terriers, no Rottweiler answers, along with German Shepherds. On the discrimination list are quite a few animals you'd be surprised at, like Schnauzers and Boston Terriers often are on those lists as well. It's not just your big Rottweilers and Bully Blends.
The American SPCA argues it really is discrimination because insurance companies are supposed to have data that proves an individual dog is in fact a higher risk.
But they haven't been able to provide that, and there are reams of research, many organizations, both governmental and non-governmental, that have said exactly the opposite, that breed is not associated with higher risk.
Basing risk on breed means some insurance companies charge a higher premium or decline coverage altogether, but they cannot do that in Nevada any longer. Senate Bill 103 took effect January 1st. It prohibits insurance companies from discriminating based on the breed of dog at a property. We reached out to the American Property Casualty Insurance Association. They sent us a statement which says in part, the cost, frequency, and severity of dog bites can be surprising. They also said the industry is working toward complying with Nevada's new law and is interested in reducing the number of these personal injuries. According to the Insurance Information Institute, there have been between 14,000 and 19,000 dog bite claims each year in the U.S. since 2003. In 2020, the average cost of those claims was over $50,000. But ASPCA says the risk should be determined on an individual dog's history, not its breed. Amy from Hearts Alive says the new law is a step in the right direction and could help encourage more families to adopt. She adds that living in a condo or apartment doesn't necessarily mean you can't take care of a larger dog.
We meet families that are amazing families. They're hikers, avid, soccer, outdoor activities. They'd be perfect for one of these dogs. But then they come across the fact that their property management does not allow that breed.
Annette says her Nevaeh shouldn't be judged by her breed any more than a person may be judged on their race. She says the new law is a relief.
I do think it'll help me save money if if not money, then, anxiety and stress of trying to find a place in the future if I don't decide to stay here.
ASPCA says it can sometimes be difficult for homeowners to figure out whether an insurance premium increase is related to your dog, so check with your insurance provider and reach out to the Nevada Department of Insurance if you're not getting a straight answer. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.